In that situation, I was asked to have a survey for our citizens. See what the general public was really feeling about this. So I did. Overwhelmingly, there was support for backyard chickens. Yes, there were few. There were 30%, 35%, 67% were for backyard chickens. 67%, I'm not even kidding. So when we're trying to, put rules and regulations on our citizens, we want to make sure that we're taking into consideration that that is their property. And if it's not negatively impacting anybody else, then why are we getting in their way? And if we can build an ordinance that protects every other person, why not? It's harder to say yes. It's easier to just say no. And don't worry about it. Move on to the next citizen. But every citizen's issue is just as important as the next. And it doesn't matter if we agree or not. It's just as important. Consolidation of the King County government. I think when we're talking about the pension issue, there was the potential of forced consolidation. When we're talking about the pension, we had a 50% increase to our pension contribution rate. Now, cities like Park Hills, that would have done them in. Covington would have done them in over a certain period of time. 50% increase, can you think about that for just a moment? That's $1 million increase to the city budget for Erlanger in 1 year, with no expectation that that's going to stop. So we need to make sure that our legislators are not trying to force us to consolidate. If that's something that they want to do, then let's have open dialogue, open conversation, and understand the impacts, because there would be tremendous impacts, both positive and negative, I'm sure. But we need to make sure that we are being open and honest about that idea and educating everyone about it. I just wanted to say thank you. It's honestly been one of the most wonderful journeys in my life so far. Why I've run for mayor. I have 3 kids. I have 3 little people that I'm in charge of. I'm in charge of making them good human beings. I'm in charge of teaching them how to embrace change. I'm in charge of making sure that they feel empowered in their community, that they get out and they extend their hand to their neighbor. I'm in charge of them. I set the example. That is why I run for mayor. To be the example, to not step on the toes of those that have come before me, but to inspire those that will come after me.
I thank you all for your attention tonight, and thank you for coming here tonight. I think this has been very informative. In terms of the 2 questions posed in the final series there, first, individual property maintenance. I agree we have to respect people's personal property rights, but I also agree that we have to protect the rights of their neighbors as well. And it takes a balance. I mean, I may want to put in a garbage dump in my house, but I think my neighbors would have an adverse effect by that. So we have to have some common sense. And we have to, and that's what zoning is all about. We have to have some common sense in how we do things. Ms. Betty brought up the chicken ordinance proposal. And actually and I will use this in a different way. To me, this was an example where having the 12-person council changed my mind. When she first came to me about it, I was actually leaning her direction. But I heard a lot of citizens come in and complain about it. I heard a lot of our residents say that they were against it. Someone presented a study from the CDC which talked about various diseases that come from backyard chickens. That caused me to pause to think about it more, and ultimately say no. But certainly that was one where having a 12-person council helped me reach a decision. Individual property maintenance is absolutely essential. I always think back to the house I live in. When my wife and I first bought that house, it looked like something the Munsters lived in. The Addams family, perhaps. It was a disaster. I remember when we first looked at the house, you flip a light switch and you hear a crackling noise go up the walls. When we went up to the third floor of the house, you could actually see the sky. Now, I'm all in favor of skylights, but I do think a roof should be in between. So, but you know, the thing was, when we bought that house was on the corner, a large house. It was a monstrosity. Since we fixed up our house, we rehabbed our house, we restored that house. That whole block has improved. So I think it's contagious both ways. If one piece of property was run down, it filters out to the rest. When one piece of property gets improved, that filters out as well. So individual property maintenance is ideally important. As I said before, I think when we talk about property maintenance, we have to look at a couple things. The first is, why? Why are they not maintaining their properties? Is it simply they're an absentee landlord that just couldn't care less about Erlanger? Well, that's something to deal with. Or is it an elderly person, a person who's in poverty, a person who just simply has the ability, has the willingness to keep their property up, but just not the financial wherewithal? That's a different issue. And I think those are issues that need to be addressed, as I said before, loans, grants, community help, all of those things can be brought to bear to deal with those folks. Code enforcement will deal with those who just simply disregard their properties and don't maintain it. Consolidation of services. Erlanger's actually been doing this a long time. But we have not done a consolidation of government by any means, but we certainly done consolidation of services. We did it with our dispatch center originally. Erlanger operated dispatch for much of the county for a period of time. We've done it through police agreements, with interlocal agreements they're called. We've done it through our fire and EMS. We have always worked together collectively. And I think we need to continue doing that. I think consolidating of governments is probably not a great idea. Consolidating of services, I think in many instances, can save the taxpayers considerable sums. We need to explore that at every opportunity. So in closing, I want to thank you all for being here. I hope this has been informative to you. I believe we have a second debate scheduled on the 24th of October at Dietz Auditorium at 7 p.m. So if you didn't get a question asked tonight, you've got another chance. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much.
The candidates for their mutual respect for each other and the civility with which this forum was conducted. And my final word to all of you is thank you for being here, and regardless of who you're leaning towards or who you have decided you want to vote for, vote. This is the most important thing. Complacency has won every election for the last 50 years. People who stay home have decided every election. Tell the people you like, tell the people you don't like, tell the people you don't know. Please get out there, vote. We have an opportunity in this country to decide our government, and if we're not doing that, we're cheating ourselves. So please do that. And again, thank you all.